Right now, millions and millions of Americans all over the United States are concerned because they rely on food stamps, EBT. And this is something that they absolutely need, or else they cannot feed themselves or their families. Now, today we're going to discuss this because most Americans say they want Medicaid and food stamps, the funding maintained or increased, not decreased. They want it maintained or increased because prices for food keeps going up. Today we're going to break this down, what's going on, what the poll says, and what the Trump administration is going to do about it. So I'll do all this in just a moment, break it down, explain what's going on. All I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So here we go. Americans want Medicaid and food stamps funding maintained or increased, according to a recent AP poll. Now, I want to show you this. Okay, I want to show you what some of these numbers look like. Look at this right here. It says, many U.S. adults see too little funding for Medicaid and SNAP. It says the percent who say the U.S. government is spending on following programs. Okay, this greenish is too little. This is about right, too much, and don't know. So how many people say the United States government is spending too little on, and we're just going to go right to food stamps, which is down here. You can see it right here. Too little. 45% of U.S. adults say the United States government is spending too little on food and nutrition assistance programs. Democrats, that's 65%. Independents 59%, and Republicans at 18%. If you look at too much, Republicans say it's 46%. 46% of Republicans say the United States government is spending too much on food stamps. Now, here's what you need to understand about this. The Trump administration believes that there is too much money going out, but we're not helping the right people. What do I mean by this? Well, you need to look at this. It says the GOP wants people up to age 80 or up to age 64 to work for food stamps and Medicaid. Now, I want to read this to you. Okay, why is this? Look at this right here. It says the Republicans' big, beautiful budget package would add new work requirements for millions of Americans who rely on Medicaid and food stamps. Tying federal aid in exchange for work is common sense, according to House Speaker Mike Johnson, who said it would encourage people to get jobs. Now, here's the big question. Why would we go up to age 64? Well, the reason why some say you should be an able-bodied adult who can work is because at age 64, then you can go and claim Social Security. You can retire. So most people should be able to work all the way up to age 64. I want to keep reading this to you, though. It says, while the food stamp program already has a work requirement, the GOP bill tightens the regulation for beneficiaries, requiring those who are so-called able-bodied adults without dependents or ABAWDs to prove they're working up to age 64, up from the current threshold of age 54. That right there is going to kick many people out of the food stamp program, okay? And here's the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention. Because this is in the bill. This is what Senate Republicans would like in the bill in order to bring down the cost of food stamps. I want to keep reading it to you. It says, taken together, the new requirements would add reporting requirements for millions of low-income Americans who would need to prove they're working or else volunteering or enrolled in an educational program to qualify for health care or food assistance. Republican lawmakers say it makes sense to tack on these restrictions to ensure that people aren't gaming the system. That's in Speaker Mike Johnson's words, while also encouraging them to seek employment. One of the things we've known about Republicans for forever is they're pushing people towards employment. They don't want to tax the hardworking Americans and give that money to people that don't want to work. Not that can't, don't want to work. So that's kind of what we're seeing at this time. So if you are currently aged, let's say 58, you're not working, but yet you do get benefits, you may see some changes here very soon. So again, just know it's coming. Here's the next thing that is coming. It's in some states, it's already in effect. It says Summer Food Stamps 2025. This is how much money you will receive for each eligible child. Now, most people, when I talked about this a few weeks back, many people were questioning, so does that mean everybody gets an additional amount of money because they have children? The answer is no. Just because you have children does not mean you're eligible for food stamps. But if you are eligible, okay, and I'll show you who's eligible right here, it says children who attend school and whose families are part of programs such as SNAP, TANF, and FDPIR will benefit from these coupons. In addition, if they attend schools that offer a national school lunch program or the school breakfast program, they will automatically be enrolled. So right there, you probably know whether you qualify for any of that stuff. If you're on it, then you would actually get $120 per child. This is a one-time payment, okay? And if you don't use the money, you will lose it, okay? Here's the restrictions. So what are the restrictions? You can see right here, it's $120 to go and buy food. The restrictions on products such as hot food, pet food, and household and cleaning items. As for what can be purchased, it can be fruits, vegetables, meat, poultry, and fish. Dairy products, bread, cereals are among others. Here's the one issue though. Okay, I want to be very clear on this. What we now know is more and more states are petitioning to ban soda and sugary snack foods. Okay, so some of the states, just give you an idea, because you may live in one. The states that have already had their waivers approved. Nebraska. Nebraska was the very first state. Okay, now it was started. I think it was January 1st of this year is when that went into effect. So Nebraska, yeah. Indiana, Iowa, and West Virginia. Okay, they all said that the waivers for this spring. Okay, so if you purchase soda, candy, energy drinks, and other things like that, can't do it with your EBT card. Also, Arkansas, Idaho, and Utah are also on that list as well. The ban, okay, just so you have an idea, I believe the ban starts in January of 2026, January 1st, 2026 on all of those. So just be aware of that. There are some that have pending legislation. Texas is one of those. I believe Kansas and Colorado. I believe those are still pending, or they requested something like that. Anyway, so those are the states that are on the list as far as trying to ban soda and junk food or snack food. So if you live in one of those states, just understand you may not be able to buy certain foods. It may be restricted. Okay, so the last thing I want to leave you with is this. We are going to see changes to SNAP benefits. The goal of this is to help those in need more. Not to just eliminate the amount of money we're spending on SNAP and nutrition assistance. Yes, the government wants to reduce that amount. But at the same time, what they don't want or can't afford is to keep increasing that amount to afford the food and the costs that are associated with it. We can't keep raising the price. We can't keep raising the amount of money we're putting towards SNAP benefits. Okay, this is according to Republicans. But what they can do is they can reduce the amount of people that qualify, especially if you are an able-bodied adult that can work, then you should go back to work. That's what they're telling us. So there's going to be changes. We know this is something that will be in the One Big Beautiful Bill. We do not know exactly what it's going to look like, but my guess is there will be even changes as to what we're seeing today. There will likely be changes over the next couple of weeks. So as we get more information on this, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get them. As of today, that is what we know. So thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.